Sup guys, it's Alex here, and today is my 4th Bracketology update video. This is for the February 23rd bracket. This video is actually being posted on the 24th, but that's just because I had some situations come up to where I couldn't make the video. But I had already created the bracket yesterday for the current Bracketology that's out, and it already has over 1,000 votes, and it was made yesterday, so that's pretty cool. I just want to say thank you guys for voting in that last February 20th one. It has almost 6,000 votes. That's just crazy to think about. It's probably going to get even more. And total, my 3 brackets so far, I've gotten over 10,000 votes. So thank you guys for the involvement with that. So here's the new Bracketology according to Joe Lunardi. Not really a whole lot of surprises up here. Arizona moves into a 2 seed. Duke moves down to a 4 seed after the Syracuse buzzer beater, and that bumped up Syracuse to a 10. Then Northwestern keeps falling. Xavier keeps falling. They're down to an 8 seed now. And other than that, there's not a whole lot of change. California actually almost beat Oregon, but they still moved down after that loss. So let's go ahead and fill out the bracket. As always, I'm going to put the link in the description for you guys. It's up there if you just want to go ahead and check it out now. But as always, I'm just going to go ahead and just pick the winners. I'm not going to go too in-depth on why I'm picking them. That's what I'm going to do whenever it comes time for the actual bracket itself. So here's an upset that I have already. Wisconsin lost to Ohio State last night, so I'm going to actually have to pick UNC Wilmington here with an upset. Duke with the win there. Notre Dame. I want to pick Seton Hall beating TCU there, but if they lose to TCU, then I think Notre Dame will destroy them. Then Kentucky, then I think Arkansas is going to beat Iowa State. Arizona's moving on as a 1 seed. Gonzaga's moving on. Michigan's moving on as a 9 seed. Virginia's moving on as a 5. West Virginia's moving on as a 4. Middle Tennessee's upsetting Creighton here. Creighton just lost to, I think, Seton Hall last week, and now they just lost to Providence, and I think it was at home too. Middle Tennessee's on a pretty good hot streak right now. Florida State, the 3 seed, moving on. Michigan State, the 10 seed, upsetting South Carolina. I just can't get behind that South Carolina team right now. They've been losing almost every single game they've been playing recently. So then we have Villanova moving on. Miami, Florida, ruining Northwestern's first appearance in the NCAA tournament. 5 seed Cincinnati moving on. The 4 seed Purdue moving on. Marquette upsetting Oklahoma State here. That's another big one that I have. I really like Oklahoma State, but I think Marquette's going to be able to pull off the upset there. They beat Villanova earlier in the season. Then Florida. Then I want to pick Maryland there, but they've been losing almost every single game, kind of like South Carolina. They just haven't been able to put the ball in the basket when it counts, so I'm going to have to go with USC. Louisville moving on out of that one. Then the 1 seed North Carolina. The 9 seed VCU. Xavier's been losing a lot recently too. 5 seed SMU. 4 seed UCLA. I'm actually going to go with California here. Another 11 seed beating a 6 seed. I think I have 3 11 seeds winning. California just played Oregon. They were leading for, I think, almost 95% of that game. But I just can't get behind St. Mary's either. Then Butler's moving on as a 3 seed. They just beat Villanova. Then Syracuse upsetting Minnesota. Minnesota's won like 5 or 6 in a row. But I'm more confident in Syracuse on that one. Then the 2 seed Baylor moving on. So then we go back up here for a berth in the Sweet 16. We have Kansas beating Wichita State, though I can see Wichita State beating them there. Then Duke beating UNC Wilmington. UK beating Notre Dame. Then Arizona beating Arkansas. Then we got Gonzaga beating Michigan. West Virginia beating Virginia. Florida State beating Middle Tennessee. And then Oregon beating Michigan State. I've been going with the higher seeded teams. That's just what I think is going to happen so far. Then we got Villanova beating Miami, Florida. Then we got Cincinnati beating Purdue. Then we got, I actually have an upset here. I think Marquette's going to beat Florida. Florida lost their top rebounder. They're still doing pretty good, but keep an eye out on that Kentucky and Florida game on Saturday. I think it's Saturday night. It might be Saturday afternoon. I don't know. That'll be an interesting game to watch because that'll show a lot about Kentucky and Florida. So we have Louisville beating the 10 seed USC to move on to the Sweet 16. North Carolina beating VCU. UCLA beating SMU. Then we got Butler moving on, beating California. And then I think Syracuse is going to upset the 2 seed Baylor there. Baylor has been having a lot of close games recently. They've been playing some good games, but I just can't. I think Syracuse is going to upset them there. And then Kansas and Duke, that's going to be a heck of a game. I think Duke is going to actually win, though, even though they just lost to Syracuse. Kansas was losing to TCU for pretty much the whole game, too. Oh, like the first half and all that stuff. Then I think, depending on what happens on Saturday, I can change this if Kentucky loses, but I think Kentucky will beat Arizona. Then West Virginia is going to move on past Gonzaga. even though Gonzaga just won by 58 points, but it was against a no-name team. Then Oregon's going to move on past Florida State. Then we're going to have Villanova beat Cincinnati. Louisville beat Villanova. North Carolina beat UCLA. And then Butler beating North Carolina. That's going to be a crazy game right there. And then so UK and Duke. Sadly, though if UK destroys Florida, I'm going to be thinking differently. But I think Duke's going to move on in that one. Then West Virginia and Oregon, going to have to go with the 2-seed Oregon. Villanova and Louisville, I think Villanova's going to actually pull out the upset. Or not really the upset there, but that's going to be a really good game. And I think a lot of people are going to pick Louisville in that one, as evidenced by most people picking them to beat Villanova with the green line right there. And I think Butler's going to upset North Carolina here. I think North Carolina's going to get their heads too big. And I think Butler might pull out the upset. And that's going to set up another Final Four rematch right there, Villanova and Butler. But I think in that one, Villanova's going to beat Butler. And then Duke and Oregon, I'm going to have to go with Duke. I think they're a more complete team than Oregon. So in the championship game, Duke and Villanova, I'm going to actually have to go with Villanova. I think that they're going to repeat as champions in this bracket, though there's a lot of things that can change. So I'm going to have to go with Villanova as winning so far. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll be sure to leave the link for this bracket in the video. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more Bracketology videos. And I shall see you guys in the 5th Bracketology video.